critical safety net for families, health and human services, public defender's office, but also public financing and electoral reforms that many of us have fought for decades as well. Department of Public Health and Human Service Agency were pretty much gutted by the cuts at the budget crisis, and I think that it's going to be hard to restore many of the important programs that have been built up over generations there. I do think some of the immigrant service agencies and others often needed to stand up even more for their budgets, and often it's a balance of the city's workforce versus community-based groups that work with cultural sensitivity and language abilities that city workers don't often have. At times, other supervisors from District 9 and 5, or those that were on the budget committee, definitely had more of a voice in fighting for add-backs for their districts. So I do feel that Avalos tried to be even-handed by asking all the supervisors to give what are our priorities, and he tried to have more of a fair distribution of add-backs and budgets. But I'll just say that being on the budget committee gives a supervisor a tremendous advantage in getting what they want added back. I think John Avalos was crucial in a lot of the add-backs, and I think it's not insignificant. I think it's really important that he and David Chu were able to negotiate with the mayor's office the largest amount of add-backs. It was framed very carefully so that it was health and human services and the critical safety net, or also public safety in many ways. But now the hard part is making sure that the mayor appropriates the money so that these add-backs become a reality. And we know in the past, he hasn't spent the money like it's been negotiated, whether it was with McGoldrick as the budget committee chair last year or with previous Board of Supervisors budget committees as well. But I would hope that it's more of a cooperative relationship between the Controller's Office, the Mayor's Budget Director, and the Board of Supervisors at an earlier level, and not like an adversarial thing where the mayor supports public safety, like police and firefighters, and then the board wants all the nonprofits and the staff and critical safety net for families and seniors to be added back. We're still looking at a local vehicle license fee that's reasonable, an alcohol fee, parcel tax that might be more of a progressive one, so it's not flat parcel tax, but maybe requiring big building owners and others to pay more of their fair share of a parcel tax. Now, parking meters in the park is another one. So on the table, maybe soon, will be 1,900 spaces in Golden Gate Park on the eastern side that might be proposed to bring in $1.5 million for the Rec and Parks Department. But I'll just have to say I'm going to balance the need for the Rec and Park revenue with an inconvenience for many people. An earlier process of the mayor sharing the mid-year cut proposals and other things so that we could have broader public hearings with good multilingual translation, and for regular people to be able to hear the information, give suggestions, and then work it through the budget committee of the Board of Supervisors. But even having multi-year budgeting is really important as we face a severe and ongoing budget crisis. But I guess I'm somebody that strongly supports the concept of a people's budget where you have more grassroots involvement at the early levels, as opposed to the process that we have now where people come rallying and begging at the last minute when they can't have as much of an input or impact on the budget, and it becomes very dehumanizing when it pits the mental health center clients versus nonprofit organizations and city staff against each other, fighting over crumbs, when we should be working together to increase revenue so that we can adequately support the safety net and important staff and other programs in the city, I think.